They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world for reasons as varied as their locales. Whether it's a defending champion looking to retain his title, a new and eager hopeful striving for recognition, or a legend prepared to recapture past glory, in the end, the one goal they all share is to win. But when naming a victor, only one driver's name can be etched into the record books. You're watching the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour.
A return to the top of the mountain, a trek being maintained, and a plethora of Miatas looking for action. This is what graces you tonight in Lexington, Ohio, as round 6 of 13 in the Heusinkveld MX5 World Tour signals the halfway stage as we head to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Global SimRacing Channel Countdown to Green, in the series that has provided more action than my flat on a Friday night. I, though, am your ever faithful friend in this series, Mr. Hashtag Do You Mind himself, and the observer of sim racing, Jake Sperry, making sure everyone is getting along nice and dandy. And with one foot out of the door and one arm in his coat, Bill Superzahn joins me once more in the commentary booth. Joe Peak is eagle-eyed from the tavern's nest in the production truck, as he'll be pressing buttons to work cameras by the invisible man, Dougie Beard. But Soup, it's all about cambers today. On camber, off camber, every corner is its own challenge. Surely, it's like Willy Wonka's everlasting gobstopper, and the fact that it can be any form of flavour?
All right, I'll go for that one. You know, you're talking about your flat on a Friday night. I've been to funerals that have been more exciting than your flat on a Friday night. Officially called the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, this place ranks among America's premier road racing facilities. The track is located just outside of the village of Lexington, Ohio. Since opening in 1962, it has been refurbished a few times. iRacing offers 3 legitimate road race configurations, plus a rarely used clockwise and counterclockwise half mile. Today, we're on the full 2.2 mile, 13-corner layout. There is a nice blend of fast, medium, and slow speed corners, one long straightaway, and several dynamic elevation changes. Drivers will face the daunting Turn 1, a roller coaster series of S's known as Madness, and then concluding their lap with what seems like a 360-degree carousel that offers a plethora of racing lines. But the best way to get an idea of what this place is really like is to jump on board and take a lap around.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Mid-Ohio. Coming down to turn 1, it's going to be a fairly fast left-hander. The car should be able to handle that inside curb pretty well. Just make sure not to cut too far over it and get a slowdown penalty. The main thing is to get yourself a good run off the corner, because as we climb up the hill, you're heading towards the keyhole, which is a popular place to pass. From above, this looks like a simple 180-degree corner, but from inside the car, you can see it's got a tricky crest in the middle of it. Squaring off your exit will be the order of the day, not just because of the elevation change, but also because it leads onto the backstretch, where top end will be critical. It's not totally straight here, so you'll glide it through the kink and then bring the car off to the left to set up for China Beach. This is the place where you'll probably see the most passes made, but also the most cars off into the kitty litter with the way the track dips in the braking zone. However, it can be possible to defend from the outside. The track switches back as we head into madness, so holding your own can allow you to fight back over this very blind left-hander. But we're not done yet, and the circuit switches into yet another right-hander before climbing into the S's. You won't see a lot of passes through here, but that doesn't mean some side-by-side action won't occur at some point. The real difficulty comes in the braking for the entry to Thunder Valley. It's curved with not a lot of runoff. Then this huge rise will make the car light right when you want to put the power down. It's not uncommon to see drivers go wide into the grass coming out of there. Now it's back uphill, and you want to hold as tight as you can to the armco to the right. This gives you the widest arc you can get through 11, where the car will really want to plow off into the weeds. Before you know it, you've got to brake for the carousel. There's a bunch of different lines you can take through here, but my preference is like Amjad does. Shallow entry, drift wide, then cut back for a good exit. From there, keep your foot down around the final left-hander and come across the line to finish your lap around Mid-Ohio.
The GSRC MX-5 taking a Saturday afternoon in the Ohio sunshine. But Soup, this is the halfway stage, there or thereabouts in the season, and as things stand, it sounds mightily interesting when we talk about the championship standings, especially over a couple of drinks.
Okay, absolutely. With 5 races in the book, Sonny Catch Me If You Can'tchen has raced in only 3 of them, but he has won them all. Now, thanks to the wonders of the Quality Racing Sim-dicate's ingenious scoring system, no-show compensation keeps the 3-time champion in the hunt for a 4th crown, albeit 18 points back. Now, your point leader, the Errol Num, has been the bridesmaid in each of his 5 races so far. GSRC's own Amjad Yaman won the championship back in Season 10 without winning a race. Can the Rolian Estonian follow suit? Travis Swanky is the best of the rest, picking up his first career win in round 4. Gene Fittis will not go away. The Kiwi moves up a spot into 4th, pushing Robert Hartley down to 5th. The other winner this season was Marcelo Pajan. He's a part-timer. He's sitting down at 25th. Let's go ahead and look at the AM Championship now, where Steven Van Opstroll leads the AM Championship, but he better be careful or he'll get a mid-season promotion up to the pros. The Belgium sits 7th in the overall points, but Van Opstroll has company up there as well, as Anwar Smith and Adam McNally sit 8th and 9th. Neil Bamber and Joop Willemsen round out the overlay. Jake?
Yes, they do. Both championships then are up for grabs at this stage, but everyone has to grab a rulebook today, Soup, because it's not a well that we take the water from, but more rather the punch bowl.
For new-time viewers, I'll go through this one more time. This is Season 15. Boy, that's a lot of seasons for any series. Schedules, round 6 of 13. There's no drop races. We've talked about it before, though. There is that no-show compensation that you get if you miss a race. What you do, you get the average of your points that you scored on the races that you raced, and that's why Sonny Ketchen still has a chance for the championship. Our setups are open, so they get to play around them, though there's not a lot you can do with the MX-5s. Race distance, 28 laps today. It'll be restricted fuel cells, so there will be a pit stop somewhere in the middle third. Now, the incident caps. Drivers don't need to worry about that. You do get DQ'd. You don't have to worry about that, though. But there are valuable points for where you rank on the miles per incident chart. I want to talk about that for a minute. The leader right now is the 3-time champion, Tripp, the Errol Smith. Now, what's interesting is Sonny Ketchen sits 2nd on that chart. And it's often the case that the drivers who are really great, who really are high up in the point standings, are usually found at the bottom of the mile per incident chart. That's not the case for Ketchen, as he is also fast but also clean. Num sits in 5th. Nobody ever pays attention to those MPI bonus points until the end of the season, when they find out it might be the deciding factor of who gets the crown. Track-specific rules here at Mid-Ohio, we don't have any. Just be fair. Keep it on the great part. You won't be in trouble.
Yes, keep it on the island, because when you start swimming with sharks, we end up with a copyright infringement. We do not want to be playing Sea of Thieves. But what we definitely can say is that qualifying is underway. 10 minutes or 2 laps to get a time in. And with a shortened field today, Soup, do you feel that it's going to make qualifying a little bit easier for those drivers at the front, knowing that there are less positions they can lose out to?
Yeah, well, we're looking at a field of just over 20. Often our train is 10 deep, so we can look at half the field being up front. All you got to do is finish in the top half of the field. You'll be near the front. This should be very cool to see how some of the drivers in the back might be able to sneak onto that lead train. Drivers who you don't usually see there. Maybe Boslav up there racing with the big guys. Some of those amateurs that are sitting up in the points is qualifying coming in right now. Travis Schwenke and Van Opsel. There's an amateur. He's going to sit second right now. Of course, they're just showing up.
And let's not forget that Mr. Travis Schwenke is a hometown boy, Club Ohio. So there's a bit more added pressure. He's currently top of the times, 136.837. Sits at the front of this field just for the moment. Irunom, though, rolling Estonian. Bushfink as well. He'll make his drive to the line for his first lap, and he crosses, does a 36.2. Just take that one to the bank, cash it in, and to everyone else, there's a clean-up in aisle 4.
Looking for some names that are conspicuous by their absence. We don't see Gene Fittis here today. We talked about the Kiwi doing really well. Looks like he's going to sit this one out. Don't worry, though. He'll get his no-show compensation. It's not going to hurt him too bad.
No, it's not. Mid-Ohio, not typically one of the more popular circuits. It is a challenge as Sonny Kanchan goes to second, 136.679. Not ideal. Where has Irunom found that time, though? That's what I have to ask. As Schwenke gets himself Tokyo broadside as he heads himself up towards Thunder Valley. And in the end, it seems that it is not quite effective enough. It is super effective. Thunder against Travis Schwenke, Soup.
With Fittis being gone, also Robert Hartley's not here. A driver that I'd like to keep an eye on today is the rookie Jason Cooper. He's well up in the points. Boy, he's got a great paint job on his car as well. He's right now qualified in 4th. He is quick, and he's also, I think he's earning the respect of the rest of the drivers. I think they're getting comfortable racing around him.
I think they are. He heads himself then through to number 9 as he heads through Thunder Valley. Small kink right of 10 leads to the left, this difficult left at turn number 11. You have to hit the brakes. It's deceptive. It's so much tighter than you think it is before you head into this long carousel. It reminds you of Road America. It reminds you of circuits like Barber in the fact that you just had that small kink left to finish the lap. Almost a carbon copy of Barber Motorsports Park. Crossed the line, 37 flat it was. It's now a 36.9. That's good enough to stay in position number 4. A lot safer from Stephen Van Opstal, which I think is very, very useful. Kanchan can't go any quicker. And as far as things stand, 2 drivers on lap times. 1 Robert Vita, 1 Sarah Dove. Sarah Dove, position 13 at the moment. Soup, 137.6. A top 10 only requires 0.3 of a second.
Sarah Dove kind of had a Sophie's choice here today, as she also races in the Absolute Beginner IndyCar Series that we are covering here on GSRC as well. Of course, that's happening right now. You're going to watch this one, but as soon as this race is over, go ahead over to our YouTube channel and rewind and watch that one tape delayed.
Exactly. The Absolute Beginners IndyCar League. Always a pleasure to behold and to watch. But for now, it's about the MWT, the MX5 World Tour, presented by Heusinkveld. And, well, Sarah Dove rounding herself through the China Beach section. Down the hill, right-hander, looking to hit that curb and hits it nicely. Before now you head through the S's, through that Honda section. It's almost like trying to drive a roller coaster. You know you're not quite in control of things. You just never know when you're going to go up or down next. Pushes a little bit wide there, slightly missed apex. Sarah's pushing here, Soup, but you have to feel that it has been a good lap here on the second lap.
Yeah, she's doing very well. She sits 13th overall. You know, saw her racing in both series, and you talking about your flat on Friday nights remind me when I was a younger man and I had 2 girlfriends. Easy to keep 2 girlfriends, but it's hard to keep them after New Year's Eve because really you gotta pick one. Once you're not with somebody on New Year's Eve, that kind of ends that chance there. Sarah completes her lap. She's going to stay in 13th.
Oh, another fan of polygamy, I see. But that much you can definitely say has been Sarah Dove's lap pretty much done. The only other driver then out on circuit is the Workiva kinetic machine of Stefan Overgaard. And, well, Overgaard, a driver that you certainly do like, Soup.
I do. It's good to see Stefan back with us. He did a little broadcasting with us on GSRC many years ago. He's been away from iRacing for a while. Good to see him back. I've seen him in a couple other series recently. Good to see him back in the MX5 World Tour. He has some experience here before.
Certainly has the experience, but now the question becomes, can he use that to his advantage? The number 4 machine currently sits in position 8 in qualifying behind 2 amateurs, 1 Anwar Barral-Smith in the Youth Energy car, 1 Stephen Van Opstal in the Pokemon Go car. So, Stefan Overgaard heading through China Beach, off camber left-hander of turn number 5, and that is the most difficult corner on the circuit, Soup, because you give yourself the opportunity to attack it, and sometimes it just never seems to go right, no matter what you try.
Yeah, I think corner number 5 is the hardest corner. Till I get to corner number 6, then I think that was the harder. And I stick with that one until I get to 7. And this keeps going all the way around.
And that's why you're in the commentary booth, and that's why I'm also in the commentary booth with you. But that much you could definitely say. Thunder Valley into turn 11 for Stefan Overgaard, looking to push through turn number 12. 37.2. And it's a slower lap time, we do believe. So that will be Stefan Overgaard not improving on his time, and nobody else out there on a flying lap. So what we will do is we'll take you to the Heusinkveld starting grid for this afternoon on the Global SimRacing Channel. Heusinkveld offers a broad array of products and services, including advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware, and sponsors on practically every major team in sim racing today. If you're looking for an edge in racing, get in touch today at heusinkveld.com. Where has Iru Nom found a 136.2, the bridesmaid that never quite becomes the bride? Well, I think there's an engagement party already there. 136.2. 4 tenths clear of Sonny Kanchin in second position. Travis Schwenke, the hometown boy, in third, along with Jason Cooper in fourth. Stephen Van Opstal, your leading amateur, starts from fifth, with Gianni Quintelier on row number 3 alongside. Anwar Barral-Smith shall start from 7th, with Stefan Overgaard in 8th, and row 5 sees Bashlob and the Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratchey.
Just a follow-up on Stefan Overgaard. He has 42 career starts in the MX5 World Tour with 1 top 5. Looking maybe pick up a second top 5 today. Row 6, Adam McNally and Nick Thyssen. Sarah Dove, we talked about her. She's in the Baker's Dozen spot inside of Neil Bammer. Joop the Loop Willemsen in 14th position. He's going to be flanked by Bjorn de Forsch. Robert Whitty in the 17th position inside of Joe McDonald. 19th and 20th go to Derek Holland and Jeroen Ursum. And rounding out the field in the blackjack position of our small 21-car field today, it is Tripp the Aerosmith, currently your leader in the miles per incident category.
Currently the leader in the miles per incident, and at the back, probably has the best opportunity to continue that lead as things stands. 2 minutes to grid, or you start from a place known as Pit Road. As just one driver we're waiting for, that is Sarah Dove, as she gets herself up on the field. Everybody ready? Engine notes will look to rise then as 28 laps is green and is go. And it is a very good start from Iru Nom. Kanchin will look to make it single file behind at position 4 and 5. Jason Cooper holding on with Gianni Quintelier looking to find a way at Van Opstal, but not quite finding it, as now it seems that Quintelier becomes the man under pressure as Anwar Barral-Smith thinks about making a move. Unable to do that, too wide, then they will go in the middle of the pack, looking to go through the keyhole for the very first time. And there's a think of 3 wide, Mr. Overgaard. He has to think better of it. There was no opportunity to hold that one too wide as he looked to make his way through. Clean start, as we normally tend to see, Sue.
Boss Lob did a great job of being patient, and actually is going to be able to pick up a spot on Stefan Overgaard, moving into 8th. The question is, where will the train break? How many cars will be up in front?
Well, right now, the train stands at many, and that much we can definitely say. Into China Beach, then, for the very first time, they all come along as they look to try and find the magic numbers, still side by side. Stefan Overgaard just behind, contact, Bashlob, Adam McNally. They somehow hold it together, and the Toon Boy of Adam McNally unable to keep himself in that position. That was a nice little hip check there from Bashlob, and well, I think McNally was hoping for a little bit more respect than that, if I was perfectly honest.
I think Slob had ideas. I think he knows I want to get on the back of Overgaard right now, stay to try to be the caboose in the train. And he really worked his way around McNally. Ratchy back there as well. Up front, single file.
Single file for the moment. I just had a look at Schwenke. I thought he ran a little bit too wide through turn number 11, had a little bit of a sideways, but no harm, no foul, one lap score complete. And it's worth noting here that everybody is making the hunt for points. Everyone looking for opportunities all the way to the back of the field as well. The likes of Jeroen Ursum versus Joe McDonald. This one all the way back down for position number 18 as they head through turn number 1, looking to attack Robert Vita just in front. Every position counts no matter where you are in the field, as now Vita goes defensive. Running outside of the keyhole, not going to happen. Pick up the run off the exit then, Mr. McDonald. And you'll be loving it as the vehicle runs wide behind. That one is Derek Holland. Holds it nicely though. Continues the merry run forward as the caboose in the train is officially here, Soup and Wabarao Smith. Well, it seems we may have lost Soup for a little bit, but that's okay. We'll continue on our merry dance and keep ourselves going forward. So Anwar Barral Smith in position number 7, looking to hold on to the back of Gianni Quintelier. Haven't seen much of him this season. Has been very much a little bit away with the fairies, I think is the way that we'll claim it at the moment, as everyone tries to hold it together at the front of the field. It is still Irunom, the Team Bushfink machine, against the 2 Asbury machines behind. 1 Sonny Kanchin, 1 Travis Schwenke, and lots of contrasting lines through the carousel. And you can see just how Irunom just picks the run up off of the exit. Maybe slightly compromises the run through the left hand of the final corner, but enough to give that gap of 0.4 of a second at the end of lap number 2. Doing a fantastic job of things. Side by side though, back in the pack, Nick Thyssen had a half look, shall we say, at Sarah Dove, the Queen of Scots. Sarah, Queen of Scots, shall we say. And I think that Sarah now maybe is leaving the door open here a little bit too early, because this is going to allow Nick Thyssen the opportunity to go down to the inside, look to take that position away, and will take that position away and do a fantastic job of taking that one as they run wide just in front. The Bay State Hammer with Adam McNally in front of that. Bashlob at the front of the train with Stefan Overgaard looking to make the move. Soup, it seems that Overgaard's under pressure.
Yeah, they start to string out. Overgaard doing a good job of hanging in there. I can report that Jeroen Ursum had an off as the back of the pack starts to stretch out a little bit. Jeroen racing in 21st right now. We look at that battle there with Boss Slob in the mix of it. Stefan Overgaard trying to get that spot.
Trying to get that spot back. He's just lost it, in fact. So that's going to mean that Overgaard's got to be careful about being freight trained, because McNally is looking at every which way to try and find a way through, searching for the inside, not able to find it. Get late on the brakes, none of them able to do so. That's just going to allow this one to break forward a little bit further. And that's the worry here, is the fact that you can't pass easily at Mid-Ohio. You've got one big chance into turn number 4. Everywhere else, you're pretty much scrapping like a terrier on some lino. It's so difficult to find a way through, Soup. And it's so difficult to try and make sure that you set that run up ace to perfection to give yourself the shot.
That's a great battle going on that bit, but I think the bad news for Boss Slav is I think he's losing touch now with the Anwar Smith, who's in 7th position. Those guys, there's a nice 3-car run. If we can go up to 5th position, this is Van Opstroll. He's in trouble with Quintier looking to move, and Smith, look at Quintier trying to duck in there. He's going to get that spot.
Oh, but how much? Because he's gone a bit deep, but he block passes beautifully on Stephen Van Opstal, the amateur champion of last season, against the amateur championship leader and amateur championship 2nd position. You can't ask for too much more, but they're worried now. They are being dropped by the battle Cooper Schwenke. Here comes Sonny
Kanchen,
though. This one for the race lead. Down the inside, and Nom, nowhere to go. Kanchen was aggressive there. He wanted to use all the circuit. Nom said, no, I'm still here. And look at this, the up and under not happening here for Sonny Kanchen. He was all over the place. Quintelier holds on to position number 5 behind all of that. Fireworks starting to brood a little bit here. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble.
Num said, I'll give you some room on the inside, but I won't give you a lot of room on the inside. And Sonny couldn't keep it held up inside. He lost a lot of momentum. This is good news for Schwenke and Cooper now, who are back in the mix. Num and Kanchen qualified 1-2. They raced up front. Schwenke and Cooper were losing touch. They qualified 3-4. They're back in there now. We got a legitimate 4-car battle.
And let's not forget that Travis Schwenke is not just there for the filling either. He's certainly there to win races. Got his first race win earlier on this year. And that's going to mean that he wants to fight for the championship as much as the next guy, as much as the next guy, as much as the next guy. Nick Disson now got past Sarah Dove. Now looking at a Bay State Hammer thinking, okay, let's try and work out a way through. And I wonder if the Bay State Hammer was the originator of the hammer time use ahead of Lewis Hamilton, as now he defends on the inside.
Look at this. This is Nick Thiessen trying to get in there. I think Ratchy's in tough position. Let's see. He gets a good run up onto the back. Who's that? He almost got back into McNally there. They get it sorted out.
They do. Nick Disson gave a lot of room. He's going to pick up the run off the exit because there's a Bay State Hammer struggling. Big lunge defensively. But that's going to be enough for Nick Disson to dive away down to the inside. Exactly what is needed as they make the run then to turn number 4. China Beach section comes into view. And Disson holds on to it for now. Runs a little bit deep there through 4 Soup, but able to gather it up there through turn number 5 and gains the position. Next up is Adam McNally on the hit list.
That battle that you're looking at there, it goes all the way back. Sarah Dove in 13th, Bamber, Vilmanson as well. I just heard some contact, but I guess we're okay. Not sure where that was. Yeah, I think we're all right.
Yeah, I think we're certainly fine. And right now, things seem hunky-dory. Not so much at the front of the field, though, because it seems that Jason Cooper's being dropped once again. He's now the bridge between the divides, between Gianni Quintelier and Travis Schwenke. So that's Jason Cooper off for the back of the train. It becomes a train of 3 at the front. And it's a very familiar tale of Bushfink versus Asbury in this battle. 8 minutes gone. Lap 6 of 28. Soup, let's talk strategy. Pit stop window. When does it open? Who wants to come in when?
About the middle of it. So if you take, we're going 28 laps, you divide that up by 3. I'm going to get in trouble. 9, 9, and 9 get you close enough. So somewhere between 9 and 18, I think we'll be going. Quickly, let's go to 17. Just get a little love to these guys. They're in a nice battle. This is Joe McDonald, Derek Holland, and Robert Whitty back there. They've been fighting really tough. In fact, here comes the pass right now.
Yep, Derek Holland looking for the inside. On the brakes into the keyhole. Up and under attempt coming, though, from the driver, Joe McDonald. So McDonald looking to get himself an order, and he will not quite have a number 9 large with 2 number 7s to join that one, but still has to think about moving to the inside. It wasn't fully defended there, had half a shot at making the move. McDonald goes to the outside, Vita looks to go to the inside. Oh, let's not Mika Hakkinen this from 1999, shall we? Oh, no, we don't. And that's going to mean that side by side it stays. In fact, I'll correct myself, 2000. I get my F1 knowledge a little bit wrong, but that's going to be Robert Vita, unable to get past Joe McDonald. Great little scrap between them there, right at the back of the pack.
The guy leading the way, Derek Holland out there in the Heusinkveld machine. Always good to see our sponsor well represented.
Always nice to see that indeed. But right now, a battle 5th, 6th, 7th still continues out on track. Anwar Barral-Smith, Stephen Van Opstal, Gianni Quintelier, 7 points. That's just the difference between Anwar Barral-Smith and Stephen Van Opstal. And 7 points, that's just one position. Anwar Barral-Smith will play the fuel save game, and he knows that fuel saving and actually playing fuel strategy is his weakest suit in the deck. So right now, Barral-Smith's working on a disadvantage, but he seems right on it here today.
You can see that they're coming there. There's a car just ahead of that 3-car battle there between Quintelier, Van Opstal, and Smith. That is Jason Cooper. He's lost touch with the front 3 cars. So now you have 3 cars up in front, Num, Ketchen, and Schwenke. Then you got 3 cars behind him in a battle right now. This is Quintelier, a great battle with Van Opstal. They're side by side. You see that going on. And in between them is Cooper, who's in no man's land.
Well, a chance on the outside. The door just about shut by Quintelier. Not much he can do. Part of the SimSport News team that helps us with the wrap-up show. So, Gianni Quintelier holding on to things for the moment in position number 5. Look back a little bit more. The Bay State Hammer's now going on the offensive. He's found Adam McNally. In front of that, Nick Disson's got through. He's got Stefan Overgaard. He wants to try and attack. An Overgaard on the Overgaard, you could say at the moment, on the run through Thunder Valley.
The leader of those guys used to be in the mix, used to be Boss Law, but he's starting to pull away from them now. So now Overgaard is the cork in the bottle with Thyssen, McNally, and Ratchy right behind him. Also in the mix, Dove and Bamber's chasing him down.
Yeah, all chasing, all looking for that opportunity. No retirements as of yet then, after 8 laps, or to start lap 8 of the event that we have so far, as it's going to be Nick Disson just playing the waiting game. You can't really make the move into turn number 1, this long left-hander. You've got to set the run up out of this corner, get the drive, use the momentum, and make a charge at turn number 2. And Disson gets close, thinks about potentially moving to the inside. It's not defended by Overgaard, but it's not attacked as well as it could have been by the driver of Nick Disson as he looks for the opportunity. Now McNally starts thinking about sending a nose to the inside.
Let's go up front.
Side by side.
Yeah, Ketchen made a move on the inside. Num said no. Then he went to the outside, and I guess he's going to hold him back. I thought we were going to have some fireworks up front there, Jake. Sorry to cut you off. It got really tense.
Oh, and that was it was a solid defense actually there by Irunum. There was nothing wrong with it at all because he made his intention clear. That gap is only ever going to close. And Kanchin thought, okay, I'll send one down the inside or stop the run. But that one didn't work at all because Irunum said the ironclad door was firmly going to shut in the face of Sonny Kanchin. So Kanchin's not going to have everything his own way today. And now the mistakes are starting to creep in because Travis Rankin...
Let's go to Tom Ratchy. He just got together with Stefan Overgaard.
Oh no, so the Bay State Hammer runs into issues. Replay on screen. They were side by side coming out of 6 into 7. And I can't help but feel that the 2-into-1 nature of heading into 8 for the Bay State Hammer, he thought he had the line. Same line as maybe Stefan Overgaard did. That is a big 50-50 accident there, Soup.
Yeah, that's a tough call. Ratchy trying to come out, and Overgaard did not leave him any room. Boy, I just got to think when you're going to race that close through that technical of a section, sometimes that's going to happen.
And Quintelier runs off at turn number 1. Advantage Van Opstal on the outside. He'll look to go the long way around, and he gets it done before they even get to the corner, and that's a missed apex as well by Gianni Quintelier. He'll gather it up on the exit of the keyhole, look to make the run to China Beach, but it seems for the moment not quite there, not quite getting everything together. And crucially, Van Opstal, as I hiccup there, gets a bit of an opportunity. But again, back to the front because Sonny Kanchin had another half look into China Beach. It's not the Sonny Kanchin, that we're used to seeing. A Sonny Kanchin that doesn't seem to have all the pieces of the puzzle left together. He's attacking it, Soup, but he's not quite finding the right answer. And normally, you plug in the answer and you come up with success with Sonny Kanchin.
You wanted to talk strategy earlier. I'm going to talk strategy now. The pit window is open. In fact, the Bay State Hammer took advantage of that after that spin. He came in, took the spot. He can probably get to the end from here. I would not be surprised to see Aeronum come in and make an early stop, thinking that Kanchin is just riding his coattails. Num is one of the few drivers that feels he's even faster. He doesn't really care about lap traffic. He'll come in and he can hot lap. Remember, he was almost a half second faster than Sonny Kanchin in qualifying. He's got to be thinking, if I can just get this Aussie off of my tail, I might be able to lose him.
Gianni Quintelier comes down in at the end of lap 9. He looks to make his stop early, get out of the traffic, and keep on running some very nice laps. So Quintelier, he'll be one of the first to dive down onto the lane, along with the Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratji, as now Sonny Kanchin again looking aggressive here with Irunum, who runs a little bit wide, but is trying to open up the corner of the keyhole, give Kanchin no opportunities to attack and try and open that run. But there's only so much run you can get off of the exit before Slipstream and Toe comes into play. And then Irunom's got to think about how defensive do I go, because Kanchin's going to put 2 tyres on the grass as he looks for a way to go to the inside. He's desperate to get through. He's trying everything in his arsenal to try and get through. But again, Irunom on the outside will turn to the inside here at the second part of the China Beach at turn number 5. Turn 6, can he shut the door? He can. So Irunom holds on once again. It's allowed Jason Cooper back into the party, and it's the best type of party for Jason Cooper. Sit along, hope something happens, wiggle for Nom through 7.
Cooper back there cheering those guys on to mix it up. You go for it, boys. That has brought Jason right back into. Remember, I documented that he was falling back into the clutches of the guys back like Van Opstroom and Smith and Slav back in that 5th car battle. Not anymore.
And let's actually hark back to the interview we had last week with Sonny Kanchin. He wanted to play mind games with Irunom. He said he couldn't do it at Mosport, but I think he may want to do it here, and he's doing it more effectively. I think Sonny Kanchin wants to play a game here with Irunom. He wants to take him out of his comfort zone, and he wants to start trying to be the aggressor here soon.
Yeah, I don't know if Daryl Num is. He is a pretty cool customer. Boss Slav pits from 9th position. He's one of our first top runners coming in.
He certainly is, and that much we know is going to just open up the field, open up the packs ever so slightly, because this is going to allow McNally and Fisson to battle together, and Burrell Smith and Van Opstal are battling together out on circuit. So, and while Burrell Smith will sit and wait for the opportunity, Adam McNally may look to be the aggressor against Nick Thisson. Those two running some very nice lap times between them, as once again, look forward to the front of the field, please, because down to the inside again, think Sonny Kanchin. He's got the nose, but again, he's on the outside, heading into the left-hander. Now he's going to try and maximise the run coming off of the exit there. He took a much wider berth into the corner, but again, unable to make it happen all over the rear through turn number 6. Sonny Kanchin is looking absolutely feisty, and if he can't get away past here, Soup, then there's one option that's out there for him: pit.
Yeah, he's looking feisty, but again, I don't think he really has the pace right now. I think he's just pestering. I still think Num is sitting in the driver's seat. I can report, we don't need to go there, that Boslav did make a stop. He's the leaders of all the cars who pitted. You took left tires, which is really going to help him through the corners like the carousel and the keyhole, those almost 90 to 180-degree right-handers.
And that's a bold decision, because being ahead of Gianni Quintelier means that Bashlob has had a very, very nice stop indeed. Your leading 4 do not come down in, but someone who does is Nick Thisson, very aggressive on the lane going through. Nick Thisson wants to get away from Adam McNally. How is he going to do that? He pits on lap 11.
So it comes to, maybe we can pick up Bob Slav, because they were racing together. Slav now going through the carousel with those fresh left side tires. Yeah, you can take left sides because you have to take enough fuel that you can get the left sides done without it costing you any time. Listen, he's off the jacks, but he's still sitting there.
Fuel. I think it's low fuel for Bashlob, and that's going to be a very, very difficult situation for him, because Bashlob has just completely beaten everybody in terms of strategy. In fact, look at where Thisson comes out, just behind Gianni Quintelier, which is more akin to where I'd expect him to be. I think Bashlob has made the wrong decision on the strategy call here. I think he's taking a gamble, Soup.
You got to worry. His stop in the box, and we're talking about Boslav. 13 seconds. Go ahead, Jake.
Look at the lead here. Side by side, as they head through the S's, and there's almost contact between the pair, Kanchin and Nom. Nom on the outside. As they head to Thunder Valley, they touch, and round goes Irunom and Sonny Kanchin. Well, the stewards will have a look at that one, because that was Irunom having the advantage, but Kanchin was incredibly aggressive into turn number 9 at Thunder Valley.
Yeah, looking at it a couple times, it looked to me like Num was well out in front of the turn-in point. Sonny stuck a nose in there, and we'll see how damaged Num's car is. He's still racing. Sonny, as he goes by, you'll see he turns him, and then he's kind enough to straighten him out there with a little extra bump on the right front.
And what you'd say in terms of racing, would you call that some form of redressing the issue?
Okay, that'll work.
Well, it will work, but I'm not sure the stewards will be too happy about that. I'm not sure the Estonian will be too happy about that. It reminds me of an incident I saw today, a continued incident between Mac Backham and Gregor Hutu, but that's by the by. Anwar Burrell Smith side by side into turn number 5 as he looks to battle it out with Steven Van Opstal. He's got the advantage for now. He's managed to make his way through a little bit wide on the exit. Van Opstal takes the advantage and he will Pokemon go past. It may seem on the run to China Beach. Small kink right. That's only going to be helping as they pass the IndyCar starting line. On the brakes, they will look to go in just a moment's time into the right-hander of turn 4 at China Beach. And not much you can do if your name's Anwar Barral Smith. He left him an acre and a half. So much so, I could have planted my own crops in that one there, Sue.
Always good to plant your own crops in your own acre. Let's go to 14th position real quick. This is Quintelier, Nick Thiessen. These guys have made their stop, as has Neil Bamber. Now, Bamber had that same kind of pit stop that Boss Slav had, just under 14 seconds. Quintelier and Thiessen were really around 19 seconds. You got to worry. I don't want to be Chicken Little yelling that the sky is falling, but you got to wonder if Slav and Bamber took enough fuel. They are so much faster when it came to taking fuel.
Oh, and very, very aggressive. Looking for that line was Neil Bamber through turn number 5. He's unable to really pick that up, get that working. Nick Thiessen in a very good position. I can note that we have one retiree, and that is the Bay State Hammer. His name is Tom Ratji. He is out of the event. We're down to 20. Leading 4 again, decide they don't want to pit. Everyone's trying to go as long as they can. Lap 14 of 28. At the end of this lap, we are at the halfway stage. So, Soup, I know it's a little bit early, but I'm going to give you full license. Back marker review.
Well, okay, I can't really do it yet because we got to wait till the pit stops go through.
Oh, no, that's a shame. That's a shame. We'll come back to that in a little bit then. Sarah Dove versus Adam McNally. How about you talk about that then instead?
Well, we'll go ahead and talk about that. There, McNally having a good run. Sarah Dove now. Has Sarah made her pit stop yet? She has not. McNally both need to make their stops. These guys are racing for 7th position. What I worry about here is pit stop time again. We talked about Slav and Bamber. I can't wait to see some of these other guys come in and see if they're going to be fast as well. But how about Dove racing up there in 8th position? She qualified in 13th, up 5 spots. A good run from her.
Up 5 spots, but you have to remember if you have come down in 2 or 3, so maybe a net +2 at this stage for Sarah Dove. She's looking to try and push. The Queen of Scots will not take any prisoners as she looks to make that charge. But at the front, I worry here for Travis Schwenke and the rest of the group because they've almost dropped to 2nd here to Sunny Kanchin. I think they're okay for the moment. Any takers left off of this one? No, they are not. So now the question becomes for Irunom in 4th, I got to start making moves. I got to start making positions. Jason Cooper's probably the easiest of the 3 to get past first here, Soup. But if you're Irunom, you don't really want to be making overtakes at all.
He's got to be careful because the problem is if he makes an over... His best friend right now is Jason Cooper. I'm not sure what kind of straight line speed that MX-5 has of Numb after all the damage that he has. If he makes a move on Cooper and he loses the draft, there he goes. He's going to do it. I think he feels he can make this move, maybe sit on the back of Schwenke. He's got to be careful that he doesn't lose contact with these guys. All of a sudden, Numb, he used to be able to run away. He was the fastest car on the track. Now, company is his friend. He can't be alone.
Oh, and look at that big defensive line, and I'm pretty sure Jason Cooper wants to come straight back. Does he? Does he not? No, he decides to back out of it there, maybe even bump drafting a little bit on the run to China Beach. So Jason Cooper, he was right there. He said, I have a shot at getting past, but ultimately he said, no, I'm not going to do it. You're the quicker driver. I'm going to help you get to Travis Schwenke. Now, here's the worst part of the bottleneck. Travis Schwenke can act as the pick for Sunny Kanchin, who has won every race he has started this season so far. And Irunom, of course, has been 2nd in every race so far this season. 5 for 5. You can't ask for much more than that. The question becomes, do you release Travis Schwenke into the pits now, or do you actually release Kanchin into the pits and let Schwenke hold up a little bit longer?
I think Numb is going to stay out there. Whatever Kanchin does, that's what Numb is going to do. Numb has, and when they come into the box, Numb's going to be ahead of them. I think as soon as Kanchin rolls, Numb's going to follow him. The amount of fuel be darned. I will just follow him around.
The amount of fuel be darned. Van Opstal then versus Nick Thiessen. Battle going on further back down the field. We've seen Van Opstal come down in. He's made his one and only stop. He has released Anwar Barral Smith. But crucially enough, Steven Van Opstal is in this major train with Nick Thiessen, with Neil Bamber, with Gianni Quintelier. They're all there in the mix. And Nick Thiessen, Arguably looking right now, Soup, the most aggressive of the lot, but didn't get the line at the carousel, so that puts him back 3/4 tenths of a second, as down on the lane, I spy a Derek Holland.
And Bjorn DeForge as well, and that's going to keep Boss Slob as the leader of all the cars who pitted, currently racing in 9th position.
That's a glorious move from Irunom up into position number 2, down the inside of Travis Schwenke, who did not have anything left. And I have to say, Irunom in the Ohio State has sold the Ohio boy his own shoes and position number 3 for a $5 note in Lexington, Ohio.
Sonny Canchin in the lead, Errol Num in second. That's a order that we've seen many times this time. There's the pass.
Sometimes the more things change, the more things stay the same. Down the inside went Irunom. He made the move late and caught unawares the man in third at the moment, and his name is a certain Dory, Travis Schwenke. Gap at the front though, keep an eye on it. It was just a shade over 1 second the last time they crossed the line. The gap is now 9/10 of a second, so even while making an overtake, Irunom has closed down that gap, is using that pace to his advantage. As I had a look at Stefan Overgaard, I thought he was going to come down onto the lane. He doesn't. Nick Disson, though, again, aggressive through Thunder Valley as he was just running a little bit on the grass there, Soup. I wonder if he's trying to push too hard with Van Opstal, trying to break away from Neil Bamber just behind, who's in his own scrap with Quintelier, who needs to get through.
Disson racing in 11th. Yeah, Bamber having a good run. Remember, Bamber had that real fast stop. These guys are behind Boss Slob, who's the leader of all those guys. Overgaard, Dove, McNally yet to come in. They race in 6th, 7th, and 8th. I was looking at, just to go, if we can get a quick look at Errol Num's machine. Boy, on the passenger side, if we happen to come around, you'll see it right here. You can see all the damage right above the right front wheel, and then alongside. Most of that will just buff out, though.
Most of it will buff out, but what it is affecting is a certain number beginning with F, and that is a fuel number. And we all know that Sonny Canchin is the greatest driver in this series when it comes to the fuel, getting it absolutely perfect, getting out and away, and gaining an advantage. If Irunom has to take more fuel, then that's going to be pretty much game over. Sonny Canchin can only do so much, Irunom can only do so much as well. So, question becomes, who hits the lane? Canchin does, Nom stays out, Cooper stays out. Asbury have a plan once again here, Sue.
Boy, I never want to question Errol Num. He must be feeling pretty confident with that car. I would have thought if you saw Canchin come in, he would have stuck behind him so that he wouldn't lose him in the toe. I think he feels pretty good that the car's still fast, and I don't blame him. He was able to run down Cooper and get around Schwenke and was closing in on Canchin as well. So now he's going to go out on a hot lap.
Well, hot lap is what Irunom does best, and well, already breaking away from Jason Cooper. Did he have an issue at turn number 1? Oh my goodness, I don't think he did. I just think he was really far back. So Jason Cooper has completely lost the draft. He is the one who will lose out in all of this. Canchin comes out ahead of Travis Schwenke, as was expected, and behind Stefan Overgaard. So they pick up the lead of those who have all pitted in front of Baz Schlob. So Irunom, now's the time to start working your magic, buddy. You got to get the perfect lap in all over the curb at China Beach.
Remember when Chicken Little was complaining about the pit stop times of Boss Slob being too fast at a 13.2? Sonny Canchin, 12.8. Travis Schwenke, 13.4. So it looks like Slob had it down perfectly.
I can't argue with you there, but we'll have to see at the end of the race because nothing is ever a guarantee. 10 laps to go then when Irunom crosses the line in the number 78 Team Bushfink machine. Will he come down onto the lane this time by? If he doesn't now, he's got one final opportunity, you would feel, but he dives down at the end of lap 18, start of lap 19, looking for the yellow cone and hits it. It's very early on this pit road. You're still turning, actually, when you go and hit pit road, so you can maybe jink the vehicle right and maybe throw the gun a little bit. Burrell Smith, though, has had some issues when it's come to this stint because he's got Adam McNally and has got the Queen of Scots, Sarah Dove, just behind as well. All into the lane. Nom on the stop, looking to get things working. Here comes Sonny Canchin, though, rounding the final corner. Nom's got to get going. Nom's really got to get going. Nom's not getting going. Finally gets going. Finally gone. But also gone is Sonny Canchin. And also gone is Travis Schwenke as well. Not perfect for Nom at all. That's P3.
14.6, a couple seconds slower than Kanchan, and that's the interval that you can see right there. He was even a couple seconds slower cone to cone. Hey, how about our new leader, Stefan Overgaard?
Well, hello. One top 5 to the name and now leads.
I'm not sure if Tom Ratchie is cheering that much, as those guys got together and their little contact ended Ratchie's day, but Stefan out there leading ahead of Sonny Kanchan by about 3.1 seconds.
And look at the gaggle behind now, because you got Sarah Dove in the good, I believe it's a Good Smile Racing machine. And you bet it is. Hatsune Miku on the front. Nick Thiessen gathering her tweakers. Behind that, Admiral Barral Smith looking to make that Youth Energy machine work down to the inside. Sarah Dove. It seems that Hatsune Miku is not having a good day. Loses 2 positions. But that is just as easy as you like, as now it's a train of 6 battling it out in and around the top 10.
Great battle. Van Opstros, Thiessen, Smith, Dove, Bamber, and Quintelier.
Can't ask for anything more than that. Van Opstal leads this little pack then as they head to Thunder Valley for the 19th time in this event. And look at how close Anwar Barral Smith is to the rear of Nick Thiessen. I thought Barral Smith wanted to move. It seems that no is going to be the option, but look how aggressive Nick Thiessen is over the curb at 11, looking to just set the run up on 12. And there was a half look from Bamber just behind on Sarah Dove. I don't think she would be too happy. Queen of Scots, slay.
Not missing anything up front as Overgaard decided to go around one more time. Kanchan beginning to wheel him in a bit, but the action is right here.
Oh, you bet it is. Train of 7 now. Adam McNally has found a few friends. So this is the train that goes from 7th all the way back to position 13, and they are split by just a handful of seconds. Look at Barral Smith. He thought about the move on Nick Thiessen, who thought about the move on Van Opstal. They're thinking about moves, and right now I wish I was having a Disco Inferno party, because everyone would be throwing their moves just like they are right now. So now the question becomes, can Van Opstal defend the position on this lap here, lap 20? For the moment, I'm going to say not for now. Close to the outside tries Nick Thiessen. To the inside will try Barral Smith. He dives to the inside, almost contact between them. And look at this, Sarah Dove trying to nick the position. Now it's Neil Bamber trying to nick the position as McNally tries to nick the position behind of Gianni Quintelier. Not going to have it. Contact, hip check. Sarah Dove slays, and that is Neil Bamber off the train. Goodbye, good night, sweet prince.
With all that nicking going on, you knew someone was going to have to do a little bleeding after a while, and it ended up to be Neil Bamber.
Oh, and a mistake from Sarah Dove as well. That's 2 positions gone in the blink of an eye as McNally goes through, so does Gianni Quintelier. That was a mistake at Thunder Valley, which is a rare place that you get to see a mistake. And I wonder if there was a bit of contact. No, it was a bit of air loose or something to that akin. Maybe a little bit of contact for Sarah Dove. Didn't look too nice, didn't look too pretty, but it stays the way it is. Overgaard is in, though, finally comes down on lap 21 to serve his stop, get himself some fuel, get himself some tyres, out and away that Overgaard goes, and he should be around Joop de Luc Willemsen just ahead. That much is all fine, but again, side by side they're going to go. Van Opstal versus Thiessen. Thiessen's going to go the high side and the long way round, but he'll hang out to dry there if he's not too careful. Pick the run up off of the exit, and now boxed in here with Anwar Barral Smith.
Thiessen with a little more momentum on the outside of the keyhole will probably get this sorted out. China Beach coming up. That's a right-hander. He wants to get in position. Look at how Smith is not going to surrender that spot as they go down into 4.
Yeah, look at how it's not being surrendered on the brakes. Right-hander behind that. Adam McNally looks to work his Youth Energy machine on Quintelier. That's not going to work side by side. It stays in front. Only briefly, though, because through remains the driver of Nick Thiessen in a fantastic scrap in the middle of the pack. At the front of the field, Sonny Kanchan leads 2.1 seconds over Travis Schwenke. Irunom in 3rd position right now. And I have to feel that Irunom must be very, very upset with this race, because he's had that chance to win this one. Fastest man in qualifying by a long way. Just one bit of contact, and it has hurt him massively in this event suit.
If I was Sonny Kanchan, I would worry about having numb back on my tail. I got to figure that he owes me one. Hey, now it is time for Trips back marker shout out. How about we start with Trip Smith, huh? The man who's sponsoring this, currently in 20th position, last car running with Tom Ratchey in the pits. Jeroen Urson racing in 19th position. He's got about 10 seconds to get up to Robert Whitty. Whitty started 17th, has lost the spot. Derek Holland, we saw him make a move. He's in a battle. He's got Whitty behind him, and in front of him, he's got Joe McDonald. Holland in the Heusinkveld car, racing there with McDonald for 16th. Let's leave that one for a minute. Let's go up to DeForge in 15th spot. He's got about 1.5 seconds before he gets up to Jupe the Luke Villemundsen. No, it would be, Villemundsen. There we go. And then Villemundsen in 14th. We go up to Stefan Overgaard. Remember, he was leading for a while. All those guys that we were watching that Jake was talking about all got around him. Neil Bamber in 12th. Sarah Dove in 11th got around him. Then we get to the one right here, McNally, fighting with Quintelier, Smith, Thyssen, and Van Off. So there's your Trip Smith back marker shout out.
Back markers, that's 2/3 of the field there, dear sir. That's more than just a mere back marker, but that'll do, that will suffice. It's Van Opstal again under pressure as they head to Thunder Valley at turn number 9, and unable to make the move is Nick Disson, who has just been sitting patiently. Now, I wonder here if McNally is doing one of two things here in this battle further down the field. He's got two options. Either he attacks to gain positions right now, Soup, or he attacks to stop Quintelier. And I think Quintelier, I don't think anybody wants Quintelier in that fight, knowing how quick he is.
Yeah, last season's amateur champion moved up to the pro. He is very good. McNally, though, remember these guys all up in the charts. McNally inside the top 10 in the overall points, having a great season. Smith up there as well. Thyssen in that battle. Look at Van Opstal out in front. Remember, these guys were racing with Boss Slob. He came in early and left these guys behind. Look at the defensive line now from Thyssen.
Oh, he's trying everything here. And Anwar Barral-Smith not as aggressive on the brakes. Look how easier it was there for Nick Thyssen just to roll off the brakes there and hold himself in position. But again, there's another little run that you can start having an attack on. And here's the opportunity once more. How defensive do you take it? Very, says Nick Thyssen, go the long way round like Charlie Borman does when he gets on his motorbike. So Anwar Barral-Smith holds the nose in. He'll get the inside, which is exactly what he wants. He gives the hip check to the driver, Nick Thyssen. And that was crucial because that was a less friendly way of saying, I'm getting through. Doesn't matter who you are, I'm getting past. Try and stop me.
6 laps to go. You're not missing anything up front. It's still Kanchan, Swenke, Num, and Cooper separated by a good amount. The battle is right here. Smith and Thyssen going at it. Quintelier watching the whole thing. McNally back in 10th.
Back in 10th, but had a massive wiggle actually through turn number 7. Is lucky to hold the vehicle. So he's been struggling a bit, I think, Adam McNally, as they've dropped Sarah Dove, they've dropped Neil Bamber, as it's a train of 5, almost 4, shall we say, because Van Opstal's just been given the gap. Nightmare for Anwar Barral-Smith. Remember, there's an amateur category championship on the line for this one, and everyone looks to make points. I will go away to 3rd and 2nd, though, Soup, because that gap has come down under a 2nd for Eru Nom.
Well, of course it has, because Errol Num only knows one way to finish, and that is 2nd position. Right now, he's got to pick up that spot on Schwenke, so he will make it 6 in a row in 2nd if he can get there. Meanwhile, Kanchan out in front by 3.1 seconds. Assuming he has enough fuel, his stop was really fast.
Yes, assuming he has enough fuel, but 9 times out of 9, he seems to, 9 out of 9, he seems to get the fuel ace to perfection. Nick Thyssen, though, looking to be that aggressor. He won't be close enough this time to go and make that move. Adam McNally, though, trying to make the move just behind Gianni Quintelier. Just sitting, waiting, patient. Look at how Thyssen, though, has just run a little bit too deep. 2 tires on the grass, and a big look, and there's contact there between McNally and Quintelier. So they hold it together. McNally, ever the gentleman, says, no, I'm not going to go through making a rash move like that. Quintelier, you can hold on. I'll cost myself the positions.
Those are all amateurs in there except for a few. Van Opstal's an amateur, Smith. Now, Thyssen's a pro, Quintelier's a pro, and then McNally and other amateurs. They continue to battle for those points. And points down there, when you pass one, because you don't score as many points when you finish farther down the order, these points are even more important, if that makes sense to any of the viewers.
Oh, you bet they are even more important. And
Thyssen gets into the back of Smith, gives him a little hello.
Well, there we go. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. They keep on pushing. eyes to positions 2 and 3 because suddenly Irunom is within touching distance, within half a second when they last crossed the line. Set the run up, goes for the long looping line, picking up the run off of the exit and picks the run up off of the exit. So now Irunom has got to close down the native boy, the hometown hero, Travis Schwenke, Club Ohio, as things stand for Asbury Motorsports, but not close enough right now, Mr. Irunom. So it may just have to be wait a lap longer. He's already made the move once on Travis Schwenke. Can he do it again? He's got himself 3 laps when he crosses the line.
Yeah, he's looking to be in good position right now. Amjad Yaman, our GSC director, has a championship in round 10. He won that without winning a race. I'm going to try to do it as well as he's looking to get another second place finish. That'll do it.
Well, he's going to need a bit of luck, though, to make things happen, especially when you got Sonny Kanchin on impervious form once again. Close once again, though, is Burrell Smith versus Nick Ditton as they start being gapped a little bit by the Stephen Van Oakstar Pokemon Go machine just in front. Also being gapped is McNally versus Quintelier. They just continue to run it in a certain situation. Let's go a little bit further back, though, Soup, because Derek Holland's got a shot on Joe McDonald.
Derek Holland having a great run right now in that sponsored car, the series sponsored car. McDonald goes a little bit wide. That's going to open the door up. No, he's going to play defense there. Let's see what Holland can do. Get a good run out of 5. Not going to be able to get it done. Watching the whole thing, then there's Born DeForce. Now, DeForce just took an extra pit stop. He's made 2 of them.
Well, that's Bjorn DeForce struggling, and that's never going to be ideal when you have to go down the lane twice instead of once. So Bjorn DeForce has dropped a lot of positions. No change of position there. Eyes, though, back to Irunom and Travis Schwenke because Schwenke's got to go defensive. He's left the door wide open. You can't leave the door wide open to an Estonian that is rolling the way that Irunom is, because that is almost textbook, because there's an up and under looking textbook. Outside line and Travis Schwenke. He caught him napping. He absolutely caught the driver of Irunom napping side by side through turn number 6. Inside line for the moment for Irunom. He's looking to get the cars whipped in as they get to 7, but he's not going to get that. Side by side through 8. Side by side at Thunder Valley's turn number 9. And shades of Sonny Kanchin maybe starting to come in. Side by side they'll head to 10. 11 though is always going to be in Irunom's favour. Half a lap. Side by side, inside line for Irunom, and still there is a resilience from Travis Schwenke. That is glorious in defense from the Ohio native.
Really interesting that Num was really strong when he was on the outside making right-hand corners. Where he lost all of his momentum was on the little bit of the right-hander through the chute. That's where Schwenke got his position. Let's see what happens now as they head up into 1.
Traffic, though, coming out of pit road. That's Bjorn DeForce, who has come out of pit road once again. So now Irunom's got to think, okay, now there's traffic in play. What do I do here? Goes the long way round at the keyhole, turn number 2. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks are in the air, and they're only allowing Jason Cooper back into this one. Forget the race victory. Sonny Kanchin's 5 seconds down the road. They need Kanchin to run out badly of fuel. Irunom just wants second, and right now Schwenke saying no. Asbury 1-2, please. Bjorn DeForce now has to be careful about this. Here's the draft coming into play. DeForce, get on the outside. Whatever you do not get involved. And as you can see, DeForce runs it off the road and allows them to fight. Maybe a little bit sketchy, but that is a fight that is going to have to take place on the white flag lap suit. Side by side also, Burrell Smith versus Disson.
I give DeForge a little bit of credit there. I would have preferred him to lift on the straightaway and letting it all decided going into China Beach. Look at Num. Oh, did he pick up a slowdown penalty? I guess not, boy, but he is really pushing it.
He is certainly pushing right now. Every inch of track that he can find, he is trying to work on here in the 78 against the 16 of Dory, who is just swimming. White flag will come out for the man leading this event, number 59, Sonny Kanchin. White flag lap gets taken, but it's the battle 2nd through 4th you keep an eye out on. Schwenke, Nom, and Jason Cooper in the 035, who will want to pick up the spoils of the battle between the pair. Through turn number 1, nothing happens between them. The keyhole of 2 has been the prime setup for Iru Nom. Would he be desperate enough to make a move into this corner? He's thinking about it. He starts angling for it, and he'll go to the inside, looking to steal an opportunity, but he won't get the run off of the exit here. The same run that is going to be given to Travis Schwenke, trying everything to get the nose, but there is just enough of an overlap right now for the driver of Iru Nom to survive. Defensive line now being taken by the driver of Travis Schwenke. The long way round you got to go, Iru Nom. You got to do exactly the same thing that Travis Schwenke did just 2 laps ago. He goes the long way round, though. He's going to be on the inside for turn 5. That's normally the best place to be, but you can see Schwenke high this one, get himself back into play. Almost contact between the pair as they head to turn number 6 now, looking for the opportunity to keep that run going, and the opportunity's there. Nom has finally got him. Finally broken the spirit of Travis Schwenke and has stolen position number 2 and gets back into prime bridesmaid position. And I'm not sure Travis Schwenke has an opportunity to keep that run and get a shot at the carousel. But for Sonny Kanchin, rounding himself through said carousel, looking at the final corner just in front of him, fuel's perfect, A-OK, 4 from 4 starts. Kanchin wins again. The battle for second, slightly not over, but it's Iru Nom who just staves off the charge of Schwenke late. That is a fantastic race. And Van Opstal still fighting.
Yeah, Van Opstal, Thyssen right behind him. They have one more corner to go. A good run from Thyssen. Is he going to run out of time? I don't think there's going to be enough tarmac left.
No, I don't think there is. And, well, I think also Jai Quintelier is a little bit out of fuel as Bamba versus Overgaard looks to charge to the line. Lucky in that sense, also out of fuel. Sarah Dove, here comes Jupe the Luke Willemsen. And I think Sarah Dove choking to the line. A good smile now turns into a bad frown, because this is the late demise of Sarah Dove as she loses one more position to finish in 14th. How about this one, though? Joe McDonald not over with Derek Holland.
No, he's got that pass made. Now, we'll see if Holland can hold off McDonald back there in 13th. And you hear the church bells ringing as they know that this race is almost over.
Well, a little wide there, Robert Vita, but that doesn't matter. It's a day of celebration for some. And let's not forget here, Trip the Arrowsmiths in a scrap with Jeroen Ursum. This one for the final 2 positions, 18th and 19th in this field. So through turn number 11, looking at turn number 12, the carousel. Big lunge from Trip the Arrowsmith, but the arrow is not straight. Wide, though, goes the driver of Jeroen Ursum. Set the run up. Drag race. Stolen. Hello. That is a beauty from the arrow. Jeroen Ursum got caught napping at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, the church bells are ringing, so we must have a moment to say our prayers. We're going to step aside for one moment where we come back. Post-race show, Sim Sport News wrap-up in just a moment's time. This is the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour on the Global SimRacing Channel and iRacing Live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the SimSport News Wrap-Up. SimSport News is one of the first dedicated sim racing news websites that covers all broadcasted series on iRacing. Ran by Jacob Toffs and Gianni Quintelier, the SimSport News race team competes on many official iRacing series, as well as the one you've been watching. For more information, go to simsportnews.com. And well, with the events finished, with our prayers answered, this is official classified results from the circuit of Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And well, the more that things change, the more that some things seem to stay the same. Sonny Kanchin, this time a bit controversially, has picked up the race victory, 6.4 seconds ahead of Irunom, who battled hand over fist, tooth and nail, blood, sweat and tears with Travis Schwenke, but gets the better of the native, second for Irunom for the 6th straight race. Jason Cooper comes home in 4th with a great drive by Baz Schlob, playing the fuel numbers perfectly, finishing position number 5 ahead of Stephen Van Oopstal in 6th, Nick Thyssen, Anwar Baral-Smith, Adam McNally and Gianni Quintelier rounding out 10. My good friend Soup is a little bit preoccupied, shall we say. I said he had one arm in his coat. Well, it seems that both arms are in his coat and he said his goodbyes already. So Neil Bamber finishes in 11th with Stefan Overgaard, dropping backwards to 12th with Joop de Loop Willemsen finishing in 13th. Sarah, Queen of Scots, quickest on the lane, but for a reason. She ran out of fuel heading to the line. It was only P14 in the end, with Derek Holland holding off Joe McDonald and Robert Vita. Then you see Trip the Arrowsmith getting past Drew Nursam, 1 lap down Bjorn de Forsch, and 18 laps down and out of the event, the Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratchey. Well, by that, we've got a lot of people that we need to start talking to, and first and foremost, we need to talk to Mr. Sonny Kanchin. Sonny, there's only one thing that needs to be talked about right now, and that's that incident with Irunom.
Okay, hi Jake. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I don't know what. I was just let's just say madness happened. In madness, well, I didn't want to give up, so I was battling for it. Once you know that you have a chance and you go for it, that's what I was trying for, to finish it. So I didn't want to give up. So what happened then, I couldn't comment at the moment. I haven't checked really into it, but I'll leave it up to the IRT.
Well, that seems like a very wise and noble decision in terms of that one. But for you yourself, the early stages for you, it seemed that you were always looking for that opportunity to get around Iru. And it seemed that after last week, maybe there was a question of mind games. Did you feel that you didn't maybe have as much pace as you wanted, therefore you had to be aggressive?
Well, obviously in the hot lap section... sessions, that stage, I did not have the pace Iru had. Kudos to him. Had a great collie, and I was like totally amazed at that. When during the race, the first couple of laps, I was pretty comfortable, and that's what initiated my move. At the beginning, my first move on him was because I knew I could take him. But I was waiting for the right opportunity. But it was again wise to actually stay back and see to it. And because Dory, Travis, my teammate, was right behind me as well, so we were on the chatter too. But then again, as another few laps went by, I had the same opportunity, so I went for it. So that's because I was pretty comfortable, like you said, but not during the hot laps. And then. That's pretty much what happened after the pits.
Well, that's what happened after the pits. A 2-week break, though, coming up for you. And temporarily, a 4th straight victory for you. So you're heading yourself to Road Atlanta. Very similar in terms of its nature. You got a lot of the slow start sections that you see in the middle of the lap that happens in the early stages. So Road Atlanta, a nice little, a natural jump, shall we say?
Yeah, beautiful track, and love it. And I'm keen. Look forward to it as well. I couldn't be happier for a win. It would have been in good, not so madness way. but thanks, Jake. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the next one at Road Atlanta, as you said. And welcome back, Soup.
Soup has gone AFK for the moment, Sonny. So
okay.
apologies there. But shout out sponsors. Who gets it done at Asbury?
Yeah, all of my team is Asbury, and everyone watching, friends and family back home. Also to all the drivers, and apologies to Iru.
No worries at all. Sonny Canchin then, race winner, and very apologetic at exactly the same time. Going to grab in Iru Nom, who finished home in second position. But Iru, you had a lot of work to do today, more work than arguably that you needed to. Talk us through the incident you had with Sonny Canchin.
Yeah, I was in front, and I didn't think he will go for the move. I saw the move in this last split second, but there was nothing I can do. There was car wide enough room in the inside, so yeah, I don't know. It's not up to me.
Let the stewards decide, but you had the qualifying pace. You had the ability in the race to stave off challenges from Sonny Canchin. Let's also talk about your battle you had with Travis Schwenke heading towards the end, because he made you work hard for that position.
Yeah, I think 3 laps to go. He didn't defend. I went for the move, but I overcooked the corner, so it was much harder than it should be. So, but in the last lap, I had to go for it, at least to secure my second place again.
And it's 6 second places in a row. Do you think fortunes will change for better or for worse at Road Atlanta?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but I have to do something different again, so let's see. But I was very happy with the quality. It was massive gap compared to the other races, 0.4, so that was good.
Shout out sponsors. Who gets it done then at Team Bushfink?
Yeah, team and you guys and the sponsor of the league and all the league admins. Thank you.
No worries. Iru Nom, short and suffice, as it typically is with that driver. We're going to bring in Travis Schwenke into the booth, position number 3. Travis, hometown boy, looking for a chance at a podium. It was going to be second until you had to have an almighty defense that unfortunately didn't pay off for you.
Yeah, that was an incredible couple laps there. That was really good fun with Iru and running side by side. I don't think I've ever run side by side that long on this track.
Well, you have now, so you definitely put yourself in a great position. But Travis, talk us through pack racing, because it seems that no matter where we see you in a race, you're always the 3rd or 4th in line. You're always sitting and playing the waiting game. You're always hoping that some sort of shenanigans happen. And 8 times out of 10, it normally does for you.
Yeah, it's it's a case of waiting and we're pushing hard. I mean, the draft, when you have 3-4 fast guys together, isn't as large. It's when you fall back 0.8 a second or so that you really get that suck up. But otherwise, we're all pushing pretty hard, and you just can't make small mistakes. It's the little mistakes that make the difference between everyone. And so, yeah, there were times I was I was right on him, kind of waiting, seeing what was happening, and I didn't know what Sonny was going to do. I didn't know which way Iru was going to go, and I knew there was nowhere for me to go, especially when they go side by side, except to try to follow one through. So I think I tried that a couple times, and the same thing happened with them. It was side by side defense between them, and I just kind of had to fall back, and it looked like Jason was giving me space and doing the same thing behind me.
Final question. Do you think you're the right driver in the right place in the wrong generation, knowing that you've got Sonny and Iru, who are pretty much 2 of the best MX-5 drivers that you'll find on the planet?
No, I wouldn't say that, because I think I was a step behind before, but I've learned so much from them. Even today, I sat there and right away said, where did I make my mistake? And it was the outlap. I just pushed too hard on the outlap and lost Sonny's draft. I was like within 1.4, and I was gaining, and I just kind of overcooked the tires a little bit, and I had to back off and collect. But at that time, I was out of draft, and Sonny was like 0.2 seconds a lap faster or so. So then it was just try to run smooth laps and keep Iru behind. So, I mean, it's just great drivers. I don't think it matters what generation this series, you're going to have, 10 just great people up front.
You certainly are. And before we let you go, any shout-outs to sponsors to the boys back at Asbury?
Yeah, Tom looks like he had a little bit of bad luck. He's really fast here. He just messed up his qualifying a little bit. So, hoping we hear some from Richard here soon. So, really looking forward to see what's going on.
No worries at all. Travis Schwenke coming home position number 3 and arguably deserved a little bit more. Finally, we're going to get ourselves an opportunity to talk to Sarah Dove. Sarah, good smile racing. It was not. It was more a bad frown racing today after running out of fuel towards the end.
Yeah, I did it again. I was trying to time it with the tires so that when the tires went down, I'd go. But I sort of did it too quick, so I had about 0.2 of a gallon too little to finish the race. It wasn't very great.
Well, that 0.2 of a gallon always seems to make a major difference. But talk about coming out of the pits. Talk about that massive train of 7 you found yourself in and the massive melee that you found yourself with a lot of very, very respectable drivers in.
It was pretty exciting. I fell back a bit pretty quickly, but and then I kind of hit Neil off the track because I didn't realize I was going that far over, and then on the replay it looked like it was net code. So sorry about that, but it was pretty fun with all the pack. When that happens, I usually just sit at the back of it for the whole race and then overtake at the end. It's a bit easier.
A little bit easier for you indeed, but let's go off of a tangent here for the final question, because you look at the amount of women in sim racing, and there's not too many. You talk about yourself, you're talking about the likes of Emily Jones, Mary Rushka, Rebecca Pauline, those sorts of characters. Do you feel that in terms of your position within sim racing, do you feel that you are championing a new wave of sim racers, especially in the female demographic?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to, like, if me racing makes other people race, then that would be good, because that's more people for me to race, and I like it. It's probably I don't really know. Yeah.
No, I can completely understand why that question is quite a curveball. Before we let you go, any shout-outs or sponsors you'd like to give out?
I'd like to shout out to me. Yesterday in the AOR Formula Renault League, I finished 4th in the 1-hour race at the Nordschleife. So finished 4th, and if I hadn't got some wing damage, I could have been fighting with Patrick Kessler, which is not something that I do very often. So
I know Patrick. He's a very, very humble and nice guy. Make sure he stays off the White Russians. Sarah Dove there, joining us in what was position 14 come the end of the race. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all that we are going to have time for here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'd like to thank everybody, and we would like to thank everybody at the Quality Racing Sim-dicate for organising this series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Thanks also have to go to Heusinkveld. Affordable simulator software and hardware are thought to be of limited use for race teams and drivers, but their simulation solutions bring professional results within reach for any race team or driver without having to compromise on realism or engineering value. They offer a broad array of products and services, such as advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware. They are able to simulate any combination of race car and track, including a full-fledged cockpit environment with unparalleled realism. Heusinkveld solutions are currently being used by professional teams and drivers in Formula Ford, GP3, GP2 and Formula 1. Now, these products are available for any professional team or driver looking for an edge in racing. Be a better race car driver and get in touch today. We'd also like to extend our thanks to SimSport News for their help in sponsoring the post-race show as well, along with the company's equipment and software that you see on screen right now that we use on our broadcast. And of course, the original music that you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them. However, the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour is not going to be gone for too long, because in just 2 weeks' time, we'll be returning for round 7 of the championship, May 12th, the month of May, as we head to Road Atlanta. The Global SimRacing Channel will be there to bring you all the action, and we hope that you join us. Sliding across your screen right about now are some of the upcoming broadcasts that we have here on the channel, so make sure you check them out and mark them down on your calendar. And if you'd like more information about the Global SimRacing Channel, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you'll find it all at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global SimRacing Channel. And finally, on behalf of the man who has escaped out of the door, Bill Soupzan, the man behind the desk, our director Joe Peake, and the man who some say sells cameras to disadvantaged billy goats in the Gobi Desert, that's our camera guru Dougie Beard. I'd like to thank you all for watching, so until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.